Alrighty. How are we doing today? Can everybody hear me? Can you hear me okay? Okay, hang on. Take these off. Don't need these. You can see my light here. We're gonna make a quick adjustment. There we go. Am I out now? I am. Okay. Awesome. Oh, hey. Okay. I think we're good. I think we've done it. I've switched to the standing desk. Silver Gold, what's going on? How you doing? How we doing? I'm doing pretty good. I just got off a call with my bride for this weekend's wedding. So we're just hanging out now. We just did some last minute legwork for them and making sure they're set. Pro tip, if you don't have a phone call with your brides before the wedding leading up to it, highly recommend doing that. It'll put your worries at ease, put their worries at ease. Definitely recommend doing a call with the bride for sure. Okay. So now I'm like really thirsty because I just had a 30-minute call with them, and now I'm going to talk for another hour and a half or 2 hours. But we got coffee, so it's all good. Okay. Where's everybody watching from? Let me know. Where are you watching from? Silver Gold, you're not the only person I know who's in here. I know that there are 5 people in total in this. I can see the numbers, y'all. I can see the numbers. I know you're here. But anyway, we're gonna be editing a wedding from this past Saturday. Megan and Connor at Curtis Arboretum. First time we were there. Want to go back very, very bad because it was such a beautiful place. Beautiful wedding, beautiful people, wonderful family. We photographed the bride's family for this wedding 2018, maybe, I want to say. Somewhere around then. And so we photographed the bride's sister's wedding. Sorry, I don't know if I said that correctly. So yeah, we were back with that family. A really awesome family. And so today we're gonna be editing with some film emulation profiles, Archetype Process profiles. Love these so much. I feel like my work is finally like where it needs to be now. From Corsica, said Vincent. I actually don't know where that is. Can I do a quick Google search? I don't know where Corsica is. Never heard of it actually. Oh, is it an island in France? It says. I wish I was where you are right now. Instead of in Pennsylvania, the middle of nowhere. Not in the middle of nowhere, but compared to an island in France, that sounds amazing. Unless Corsica is from somewhere else. I don't know. Again, that's what the Google said, an island in France. So maybe one day we'll make it there. Nigeria, awesome. Man, thanks for hanging out with me, guys. It's 11:40 where I'm at right now. What time is it where you guys are? Because it's got to be late in Nigeria right now, or in Corsica. Corsica? I don't know if I'm saying that right at all. Anyway, you can grab these film profiles that I'm using today at thearchetypeprocess.com. They are a bit pricey. I am not affiliated with them in any way. I just really like the film profile, so highly recommend them. The other thing we'll be using is Batch.ai, which I'm going to show you guys. We're going to batch process this to begin with, okay? In the past, you've watched me edit the batch images, right? So the way Batch.ai works is you select about 10 to 15% of the total gallery of the total images that you're going to be editing, 10 to 15%. You edit those 10 to 15% as reference or anchor images, and then Batch.ai takes those edits and uses them as reference to edit the rest of the gallery. It's a similar process to something like Imagine AI, where instead of creating a profile that they're going to use, you create the profile every time you create a new wedding or a new shoot. Because what's cool about this is that you're able to constantly change up your style if you wanted to tweak it. You can much easier than having to upload things back into Imagine, things like that. So that's what we're going to be using. almost 5 o'clock in Nigeria. Man, well, thanks for, maybe you're going to have some dinner with me while we're here, because we'll be going for your time probably till about 6:30, 7 o'clock, somewhere in there. Here, Eastern time, we'll be going until maybe 1:30 or so. But yeah, thanks for hanging with me, guys. Anyway, yeah, you can get started with Batch.ai today. 500 free photos to start with. Great to test this out on like an engagement session or something. Anyway, if you're watching on a replay too, hello to you. Let's dive in here. Let me get my screen share set up, and we'll dive in. I've converted my desk today to the standing desk, and I think that's going to be super, super helpful, because my back was starting to hurt, y'all, when I was sitting, and I was getting a little tired. So we'll see how the standing does today. We'll see how that goes, and if I need to lower it and take a seat, we might do that. Who knows? Okay. Let me pop this over here. Bam. Awesome. Alrighty. So here we go. We're in Lightroom. You can see anything that's tagged 3 stars. Anything tagged 3 stars. Whoa, not what I wanted to do. Wrong button. There we go. 3 star, 3 star. These are my reference images that Batch is going to use. I've already edited these pictures. So now it's time to batch those pictures. Let's do it. So what we do here, the way this works, let me switch back to comments here. There we go. Oh, my lovely wife is on the stream. Hello. I'm sorry my son woke up from his nap early, and now you have to deal with him. I'm very sorry. Very, very sorry. So here's what we're doing. We're going to select all of these images in this folder. Again, I recommend going folder by folder. So 01 is my camera, 02 is my wife's camera, and 03 is my second camera. So if you're going to do reference images, definitely tag based on camera. Do not tag them all in one giant folder. Tag them based on camera. And so we're just going to select all in this particular bin. Plug in extras, Batch.ai. Make sure that our anchor marker is set to 3. And we'll wait as it calculates. Bam. Good. We'll run it. Awesome. Okay, now it's going. It's doing its thing. It's officially June, so you guys are probably, well, we're actually like, oh my God, like halfway through June already. Can you believe that? Are you guys in the middle of weddings? Like, do you guys have a ton of weddings that are happening right now? I want to know. Are you shooting this weekend? We got one more wedding in June before we're off until August. Super duper pumped to have a little bit of time off, even though we had all of May off as well, which was also kind of nice. But we're taking July off this year and every year pretty much going forward, so that we can just hang out, spend some time with family, and take a much needed rest and vacation before before wedding season kicks back into high gear here. 628 images successfully processed. You can see as I scroll through here, they're already like they're all edited. Pretty nice. You can see them loading in as you go a little bit too, right? Like watch these pop in. Yeah, there you go. These ones are a little dark, so I'm gonna need to tweak those. But yeah, so that's the deal there. Oh, I also wanted to mention, here's my buddy Joel. And Joel came out again to film a full behind the scenes of this exact wedding that I'm editing today. So there will be a full BTS of this wedding. I am still unsure whether or not I'm going to upload this to YouTube or if it's going to go into a course/membership that I am going to be launching sometime this year. Haven't decided yet. We'll see. But there is a behind the scenes from this, which is great. Let's go back out here. Okay, so these are my images. We're going to go through Steph's camera here, do the same exact thing. Well, great thing about Batch is that I don't have to leave Lightroom. I don't have to leave Lightroom to do any of this. It's awesome. Come on, here we go. It's amazing. I don't have to leave. Makes it super duper easy to do this. And then what's going to happen after we do this, after these are all batched, I'm going to tag images for the blog, and that's what we're going to be going through and editing today. And hopefully, depending on how much time it takes me to do that, you may even see me use narrative publish to to get these paired and up on the blog and all that stuff. I won't do any writing necessarily because I think multitasking, trying to write and talk to y'all would be impossible. So guys, I want to also recommend, hey, ask me a bunch of questions. I would love to answer your questions while on this stream. These streams work best when I have questions to answer. Otherwise, I feel like I'm going crazy and I'm just talking to myself. So ask me all sorts of, oh, Vincent. Oh, great. You're asking questions. Let's see. Let me put this comment in here. Still got to get used to doing that. Still a few problems with the Archetype process. I can't get the rendering I hope for. Always interesting to see how you use them. Yeah. Okay. So what specific? I'd love to hear what specifically are you struggling with? Is it exposure? Is it color? What are you shooting on? And I'll do a little explaining here in a second. I'll pick an image and I'll show you the full process. I do have a video, and you may have seen it on my YouTube about film emulation and how I use these specifically. But we'll show it off here in a second. Let me make this a bit bigger again. And question, do you prefer to see my little face cam here at the bottom left, or should I like go without it? Does it matter? I may switch back and forth depending on how I'm feeling. I may also end up eating lunch in the middle of this, and I'm going to turn this off when I shove pizza into my mouth. So we'll see. But let me find an image for you, Vince. And oh, hang on. I took the drone up, guys, for this one, just for cocktail hour and for some ceremony details, which was pretty fun. I got to batch this too, even though this is probably unnecessary. I probably could just copy and paste these, but we're going to run it. We're going to run it. If you're wondering what I'm flying for weddings, it's the DJI Mini Pro 3. It's super tiny. It's really amazing. And it gets in the air in like 2 minutes. And these images are, I mean, these things take like 48 megapixel photos. Now, I don't know if I actually turned the 48 megapixel photo mode on, but I mean, hey, that still looks pretty good. So drone's fun to use, Okay, let me find you a photo, Vince, real quick, and I can give you a little bit of this process here. All righty. Here, we'll take this one. Actually, you know what? We'll take this one because it's a little bit darker than the rest. All right, so here's what we're doing. Portrait 800. Let me reset this completely. So this is straight out of camera right here, straight out of camera. What I like to do is first, you got to go and make sure you get these camera optimizer. These are in the Facebook group, the Archetype Process Facebook group. I turn that on. You can see, I don't know if you can actually see the difference. Specifically in the skin tone here, watch your skin. Like, it's really subtle, but also not at all. It kind of it warms it up, pushes it a little bit more towards the red, a little more saturation into the red. Yeah, you'd have to show me my edits with tap. Look, if you want, send me a DM or something on Instagram, and I can see kind of what or send me an email if you want with a raw file. Send me like one raw file that you're struggling with, and I'll see what I could do for you. I should get paid by the Archetype Process to do this. Anyway, you want to make sure you turn that on, okay? Get these optimizers. They have it for a whole bunch of different cameras. Turn those on. And then I like to just boost the exposure a bit because I find that the presets or the profiles end up making things a lot darker. One of my go-tos here as well is Portrait 800. Love the look of Portrait 800. This is Portrait 800 normal. And as you hover over, obviously you can see what it does to the image. So I click Portrait 800. I always use Frontier. I just like Frontier better than Noritsu. And then after that, I'm just looking at the rest of the image, right? Like you can see it's pretty contrasty. I don't want it that contrasty. So we're going to increase some shadows, increase some blacks, decrease some highlights, decrease some whites. Probably increase this a bit more. Maybe bring down the contrast a tad. We're going to go down to the tone curve. Same deal, bump the darks, bump the lights just a little bit to give it a little extra pop. That's about it in terms of what I want to do. I might cool this down a bit too. That's the, I mean, that's what I'm doing here. Maybe this tint needs to go up to push a little bit closer to magenta. Yeah, right in there, pretty good. If I go to the image before it, that looks pretty much dead on to what I had before. Yeah, I'll increase shadows a little bit more, but that's pretty much how I'm editing with the Archetype Process profiles. They're really simple, and you don't need to do much to the image. It's a lot of it's going to come down to your exposure. Because look at this. If I turn this off, look how dark that is. Like, you really need to increase the exposure for this to work pretty well. Or you need to overexpose in camera, but I wouldn't recommend doing that. Definitely underexpose if anything. You can always bring it back out. Film in general, though, if you're shooting film, overexpose definitely looks better in film work, like actual 35mm film. Anyway, so that's pretty much what I'm doing as far as like editing goes for the Archetype Process. You can see some of these images need some love because they're a little bit dark, and that's just because my reference images probably was a bit off. But that's about it. Look, it's gotten me 90% of the way there, so that's what we're gonna do. And now I'm gonna go through all of these images and just tag them green for my blog post, and then that's what we're gonna edit. So as far as tagging goes, what I'm doing is I'm gonna hit the 8 key on my keyboard, and that is gonna tag the image for me, an image that I want to save for both my blog and for the album. So what Steph will do when she goes to create the album for them is she'll go first based off of these blog images. I end up tagging way more than are going to be used in the blog, and way more that are going to be used in the album, because I just want a lot of options when it comes to blogging, when it comes to pairing, things like that. I just want a lot of options, and these are also going to be in the favorites section of their gallery on CloudSpot. I just released a video today about one huge mistake new photographers make. So if you haven't checked that out, go check that out. Go see it. Go look at it. Go watch. It's about 3.5 minutes long or something like that. Something really easy to watch. And go take a look at that. If you're a new photographer, that's probably a good video to watch. So anyway, if you have questions, keep asking away. I'm an open book today. Whoa, I just messed up the stream. Hold on. Actually, the stream's probably fine, but I am what you see below me, or you can't see below me, is that I'm trying to get this to my iPad, and every time I mess this up all the time. Whoa. Sweet Lord. Anyway, my iPad just froze itself. There we go. We're back. Y'all. Here you go. You can see my desktop now. There we go. What are the lenses you use for the shoot? Asks Silver Gold. I'm using a 50mm 1.8 from Sigma. Amazing lens. And I'm also using a 5mm from Sony 1.8. And Steph is using, my second is using a 2040-70 Canon. Shooting all of this on a Sony a7 III. And yeah, like using really basic, really simple lenses. It's crazy. We used a 2040-70, 70-200 for the ceremony. Most of my work here is shot on the 50mm. Of the 50. I sit on the 50 majority of the day. Most of the time, I'm on 50. I just love the way it looks. I would like to get, I'm trying to get my hands on an X100V. I know that's a popular camera right now, but I'm looking for something that's really lightweight, really low key, that isn't going to draw a lot of attention, that has like a wider field of view. So it's like a 35mm equivalent for a full frame. It is a smaller crop sensor camera, which is totally fine. But the images I've seen from it and the workflow I've seen from other photographers using it is just incredible. So I'm trying to get my hands on one of those. So if anybody's selling that and they want to send it to me, I will buy it from you. Looking for that camera for quite a while. Yeah, so looking for a 35. Gonna get that at some point. Do a little first look with them. This was the first time we tried this, and I'd love to know your thoughts. So we've done over 200 weddings at this point. We've seen all kinds of first looks, and after 200 weddings, and we've probably been a part of 100 first looks. I would say half the people we've shot have done a first look. They start to feel a little staged. I don't want them to feel staged. I want these to be like real moments. And I don't want them to, I don't want them to feel staged. So we pitched the idea of, hey, what if we kind of tried to surprise the groom with a first look? He knew there was going to be a first look happening, but what if we pretended that it wasn't happening until a little bit later? And we snuck you down there, and all of a sudden you're behind him and he gets to see you earlier than he thought. So that's what we tried to do. I think it worked pretty well, other than the fact that he heard her swishing out in her dress. And but it was cool little idea, cool thing to try. So we may try that again at another point. Just trying to make the day a little bit more authentic, a little bit more real. Hard to do sometimes. Especially in a formal setting. I know these two are the absolute loveliest people. They were definitely concerned about getting the dress dirty and things like that, and it's hard to really have fun, clean. It's hard to have fun and have a lot of movement where you're just not worried about the dress getting dirty. It's hard to do. And of course, before the ceremony, you don't want the dress to get dirty. You want to make sure that it stays clean for the ceremony. So totally get it 100%. But we love adding movement into our images. It's hard to do when you're trying to keep the dress clean. You're worried about that. So all good. We go with the flow. We make sure the dress stays clean, of course. But we feel a lot more freedom when we can move around and they're not too worried about the dress, and they're like, oh yeah, it's gonna get dirty. It is what it is. So that's, if any brides are watching this, Megan, if you're watching this, you should leave right now, because this is gonna spoil the blog post, the surprise for you. So get out of here. But if you're a bride who's getting married in the future, hey, don't worry about the dress so much. Don't worry about much. Just spend time with your people. Spend time with your person, your husband. Or your soon-to-be husband, anyway. Gotta do a veil shot, She looked stunning, though. Megan was. I'm glad we kept the dress clean, because dress dirty would have sucked. Lithuania, what's going on? Portugal in the house again. All right, man, all over the place. Do I have anybody here from the United States? Is anybody here from the U.S.? That's what I want to know. I'm glad I'm reaching different continents, different countries. That's so awesome. That's crazy, to be honest. These two seriously, I'm as I was editing the batch images and going through, I was like, I'm gonna need to submit this to a publication somewhere, because these guys just crushed it. Can't believe it. Absolutely stunning. One of my favorite bridal portraits I've ever taken of all time, right here. Look how the dress is elegant, the veil is amazing, her hair is amazing, she's beautiful, the flowers are great, lighting was perfect, location was amazing. All in all, just everything just was so pretty, so stunning. I'm going to select way too many pictures for this blog post. Anyway, ask away, guys. Ask some questions. ask some questions. Let me ask you a question. What are you struggling with most right now in your wedding photography business? Give me the answer. Love to know what you're struggling with. What is the biggest hurdle you're trying to jump over, to leap over? What is it? Tell you, for me, it is creating more work that feels and authentic, genuine, that feels like you were there, that feels free. I do shoot a lot of vertical. Yeah, Mario, I do shoot a lot of vertical. So I shoot vertically, one, because right, it's so technically, right, like you have landscape and then you have portrait, right? And I find that the vertical really looks flattering for portraits, right? You're taking it in portrait mode essentially, and it is portraits of people. And so I do shoot a lot of portraits I do shoot a lot of portraits in portrait orientation, because it is really flattering. But I do shoot a good, like you can see here, right? We have bridal party horizontal. This is the same exact image, vertical. Bridal party horizontal. Pretty much the same image here vertically. For details, a lot of vertical. The other reason is for blogging, when I like to pair images side by side. The verticals obviously pair better than two horizontals. The other reason is Instagram. A lot of it looks better vertically. And then Pinterest as well. Verticals look better. And then for publications, if I was to ever submit this to a publication, they use more verticals, I'm finding, than horizontal images. If you work at a publication and you're here on the stream, you can maybe let me know if that's true or not. But from what I see, the vertical ends up getting that's what gets picked more often, is what I'm finding, when you submit, is those vertical images. So I do, for certain things, try and get a mix of both. Sometimes I am just shooting vertically. I've just become very, very fond of the vertical orientation, and so that's where I end up sitting most of the time. Stylistically too, I don't know, I just like the composition better for verticals. But it depends on when in the day. Like, I hardly ever shoot verticals when I'm on the dance floor. The dance floor makes a lot more sense to be horizontal for me, to be like landscape orientation. And with family pictures or group shots like this, these look better horizontally. So it just kind of depends. It just kind of depends on the situation, depends on the time of day. But I do shoot a lot of verticals. You are not wrong there, that's for sure. Looks like you prefer less depth of field than blurry background. So these are shot at, let me see, can I tell you the info here? Look on the sidebar here. This was shot at, this group photo was shot at 2.8 ISO 250, shutter speed 1/640. So there's some good depth of field going here. I do like to mix it up if I can. I have started to, I do shoot pretty wide open at times. Other times, for group photos, I'm stopping down. And then for other times too, I'm still stopping down to like f4, f5.6. I am starting to really love the look of deep focus too. So it all depends on the day. It depends on what I'm shooting, depends on what's going on around me, things like that. I'll do a mix of shallow depth of field, blurry background, and then some deep focus too. Just again, kind of depends on the situation, on what I'm shooting, that sort of thing. So since I'm like actually considering submitting this work somewhere, I am also thinking about, okay, what type of images am I going to submit? I will likely end up pulling the curated photos for that submission from these favorites. I am doing a little bit of thinking there in terms of like, okay, what may be submitted to a publication. Down, man. Sync up our cameras. Our cameras are a little bit out of sync here. I love this so much. Love the lead up. Love the people looking back at her. Same here. Love the walk to all of the guests. Everybody looking at her. I'm gonna have to Photoshop out this lovely lady here who's standing in the bushes. Like this is a good example of like vertical would not have worked as well here. We do have the vertical, but the horizontal works way better because you can see the full space that she's walking to. So it just depends on the situation. I used to shoot more portrait than landscape in the past. Currently working with a photographer that asked me to shoot more in landscape orientation, but sometimes I can't, and I deliver both. Yeah, look, I think whatever's right for the shot, whatever tells the most compelling story, that's the orientation. I don't think you should ever shoot exclusively horizontal or exclusively vertical. I think some photographers have a preference on what they'd like to use. So for me, whenever like if I have a second other than my wife who's shooting, my wife always shoots with me. We're shooting together. I mean, our company is Josiah and Steph Photography. It's the two of us. So we know how we work. But whenever I have somebody who has to like fill in for her, like she was on maternity leave last year, it was always like, hey, shoot a mix, like shoot a good variety of both vertical and horizontal. Get me a mix of the two. And that's what I need, because I mean, again, like I want the options for album designs. I want the options for the blog. I want the options for publication if we end up submitting for publication. So it just depends. But I know photographers who like two-man studios. If you don't know who two-man studios are, two-man photographers, Erica and Lanny, man, they're amazing. They're incredible artists, and they shoot everything pretty much horizontally. Like I don't think they believe in the vertical image, and their work is absolutely nuts. It's insane. And they just prefer the horizontal image, the landscape. And so it just depends. And for me, I'm like, give me a healthy mix of the two. All right, we're into some cocktail hour now. Yeah, Steph, my wife, shoots with me. We shot our very first wedding together over 10 years ago, kind of pulled her into that. And then she has shot pretty much every wedding with me ever since. And we actually like LLC'd, started our business back in 2014. And that was it. Been going since then. Shot most of the weddings together. A lot of fun. It's cool. It's nice. It's nice because I don't have to find I don't have to find a second photographer for every wedding I go to. Like that's troublesome, because when I had to do it last year, when when she was on maternity leave, it was like, oh my God, who am I going to find? Who's around? Who's available to come and do this? And then I have to figure out how to work with them, you know, or they have to figure out how to work with me. It becomes a little tricky. So for us, we know how we work. The chemistry's there, obviously. And we don't really have to figure out, you know, how does this person shoot? How does this person work? We know what lens we're on when. We know where each other's going to be. We know how each other moves. We know how, you know, we know all the stuff. We're married. We spend every day together pretty much. So it makes it a lot easier working with your spouse. But I know people who are like, how the heck do you work with your spouse? How do you do this? And it's just easy for us. So it's easy for me. I don't know if Steph's still watching. She's like, yeah, I wish I didn't work with my husband maybe, but no, I think it's great. We love it. Flexibility to both make our own schedules and work when we want to work. And, you know, if we wanted to take a Monday off, we could. I mean, because we're both full-time in the business, like we take all of July off for weddings. So during July, we're going to be spending time with family. We're going to be, you know, on vacation. We're going to, you know, it just makes life easier, especially now that we have a kid at home. Able to spend the day with him makes life extra easy. Definitely some work that's going to have to happen. There was a lot of different lighting situations here. She's still here. Yeah, how we like working with each other. So it's great working together. Good. Okay, good. I'm glad we're on the same page there. Struggling with dance party shots, too much flash, too less flash, and with the dining table shots, don't know, is something about the f-stop, the light. Sometimes I hate those shots. Yeah. How are you lighting your stuff? Let me ask. Using flash, talk to me about how you light the dance floor. I'd love to kind of hear what your process is, because then I might be able to help you tweak it. It's all preference though. You know, sometimes for me, us anyway, we end up using 2 off-camera flash and 1 on-camera flash. We use the Godox V1s for on-camera, and then we use the Godox 8200s for off-camera. Typically what we're doing is we're putting 2 flashes off camera at opposite corners of the dance floor, and then our on-camera flash is firing. So we always have like a key light and a fill light, and then we always have, you know, we have a key light and a rim light, and then we always have a fill light on our camera. And sometimes the on-camera flash acts as a key light depending on how close we are. It's hard to explain, I guess, without like a diagram or seeing me actually break it down. But that's how we shoot receptions. We shoot on the dance floor. Sometimes we'll put both of the off-camera flashes on one side, like next to the DJ or next to the band, on both sides of the speakers, and then shoot towards the flashes. It just depends on kind of the work you're looking to create, the kind of lighting you're looking for. And then honestly, for all of these photos outside here, we use natural light. We didn't even set up a flash for outside here. I've recently really started to love just kind of the ambient light in the space. This involves cranking your ISO a little bit higher, and you know, that's what we got to do. Yeah, no worries, Mario. Yeah, look, the dance floor video. So we took their 2MU course when it came out, and have adopted a handful of things from them. Still don't shoot like them. We never, you know, I just don't think our eyes work that way to be able to shoot like them. They are visionaries. I don't know how they see the world the way they do. Insane work that they're able to create. But yeah, we adopted a few things. We did change how we light receptions a bit from them. They did provide a lot of practical tools and things like that to utilize when shooting, and it's super helpful to take that course. And that free dance floor video, like you're talking about, lots of great stuff there. Absolutely. Yeah, their work is just blowing sometimes. Sorry, we're gonna get to editing very soon. We're almost to the end of selecting these blog images. You can see I am selecting far too many. Again, I just want to have these options. And I'm going to need to quickly sync up our cameras because it off. I don't like this photo. We're gonna get rid of that. I understood the picture. I tried to do that same flash step at the last wedding. I was getting there until someone hit the flash stand and broke up. Oh no, broke one of my speed lights. I'm using the Kodak V863. Yeah, we always are like, we had a lot of flashes break early on when we were starting out. We were using these cheap, like Yongnuo's, like really cheap $70 flashes. They were really garbage flashes. They were no good, but it meant they were expendable. Like they could break and it'd be okay. The Godok's breaking hurts a lot more for sure. Okay, I think we've reached the end. Okay, let's do a quick sync here. Where's the kiss? So if you guys want to know how to sync images afterwards, like sync the times, I'll show you how to do this. What I like to do is I like to go to where the kiss is. The best flash is the one you can replace. That may be true. But I hated the ones I could replace because they were so cheap. And they didn't fire all the time. 522.55, 522.55, 522.55. So I find the kiss, and then I go to other camera, find the kiss in here as well. Why am I seeing all this info? That's weird. What did I just click? Oh my lord. Okay. 522.55. Is that what I said? All right. So you click in the picture, you select all, you go to metadata, edit capture time, corrected time 522.55. Change all. That should do the trick. And then for here, I want to find something that may add up and that may be able to match in on another camera. All right, so we have the hug. All right, so it's brother's hug. Let's see, it's gonna be in this camera here. Oh, I don't know if she has it. Or maybe cake cutting. No. Okay. Well, this may be a little tricky. All right. Maybe we can do this shot here. This is your reminder to sync your cameras with your second shooter at every wedding. Even there we go. Okay, so here's the time, 6:50:03. We're a minute off. And the reason I'm doing this, it'll make things much easier when it comes time to like actually edit here, which we're gonna do in just a second. I promise we're gonna do it in a second. All right, so while, actually, hang on. I got one more thing to match up. I got to change the drone shots. I took the drone up for cocktail hour while Steph was shooting this here. What time is this at? 5:48:38. Well, first off, wedding was on the 9th. 5:38 p.m. Okay, change all. All right, I think we're okay now. Yes, this now lines up. Perfect. Okay. Going back up, let's see the damage I did by how many freaking images I selected. Oh, we're still in 3-star. 301. Lovely. Okay. Okay. Oof. All right, time to edit, y'all. Time to edit. First off, this is going to be black and white. Yes, sir. All right, so what we're going to do here is we're going to do a little mask. I'm going to try and darken this entire wall here just to bring more attention to the bride. Trying to find the right feathering amount. Weird. All right, same over here. Darken that up a bit. Bam, bam. Great. So there's a difference in that. Love that. All right, that looks pretty good already. Looking good. And so what we're doing, again, sorry, we're just going to go through, we're going to edit these blog images, get them to where we need it to be. And then after that, I will end up going through every single picture in this gallery, fine-tuning it, finessing it, making sure it is exactly the way I need it to be. We're going to do a lot of the heavy lifting here. And Batch.ai has already done a lot of the heavy lifting for us, thankfully. Now all it is just kind of going through, tweaking exposure. That is pretty much the same exact image, so we're just going to get rid of this one. I'm kind of doing, this is also like part of my second cull in a way. Like I do one big cull at the beginning, and then I find I select too many images, and I end up deleting some during the editing process here. So grass is a little bit hot, isn't it? It's a little bit green. Or yellow, I guess. It's a little too yellow for me. That messes with their skin tone. Anyway, okay, we're going to leave that there. Oh. Guys, I'm interested too. I was just talking with a friend the other day about photographers who are inspiring to them. And I want to know, what photographers are you guys following online that I should also be following? Who should I follow? Who are these photographers that are inspiring you? I'd love to know what is influencing your work. What are you guys looking at in regards to wedding photography that I should also check out? I know for me, I'll give you one recommendation, or I'll give you two recommendations. Daniel Kim Photo on Instagram.com, Daniel Kim Photo, and John Dolan as well. John Dolan Photog is, I think, his handle on Instagram. Go check both of them out. Unbelievably good wedding photographers that will inspire your work. I also have one of the first emails, and if you're unaware, I don't think I added it to this. I should do that. I should add it here. I have 52 emails ready to go out to you guys. Why can't I get to my iPad? Hang on. Oh, we've disconnected. Oh, we're back in. Okay. Oy, oy, oy. Time to hit the road. I'll be on my phone. All right, Mario. Thanks for hanging. We'll see you on your phone, maybe. I think. Are you heading out to a shoot? Where are you going? What are you doing? I want to know. Anyway, I have I am going to see if I can find a link for you guys here, because I have 52 emails ready to go out to you. If you were on my stream last week, I plugged this same thing. 52 emails ready to go out, all around wedding photography tips. One of the first emails is like photographers who inspire me, photographers you need to follow. So let me see if I can get this link real quick. I'm in the wrong thing. Hang on. Let me get the link. Bam. I don't know if I can post it in a comment and it'll be clickable, but we'll find out. Bam. I doubt that you can even click on that. So I'm going to add it to the YouTube stream here as well. But essentially, hang on. 52 weeks of free tips. Put that in real quick. Bam, save. Okay, you should be able to click on that link in the description of this video now. You might have to refresh the page, but you can sign up for that. I'll send you guys an email a week for an entire year, full of content, good tips for your wedding photography business. I love this in black and white as well, so we're going to keep this in black and white. There we go. Majority of my stuff inside of like getting ready in houses like this are black and white. There ends up being a lot of color, a lot of distraction, and black and white just simplifies the entire thing. Look at that. We're going to go black and white. It's just going to be better. It's more classic. Look how classic that looks. Love the idea of a dad coming downstairs and there being a camera in his face and he being like, I totally forgot you were here. Nicest dad ever. Amazing. Like, I feel like black and white as well, right? Like look how much color and distraction there is in this blue bag and all these things. We're going to black and white it. It feels way more timeless to me. Do you agree? What do you find you're drawn to more, black and white or color? All right, we're going to have to do some work up here too. So you're going to see some of this process. And if any of you have used generative fill driving from work to home, I'm going to get my kid at school first. All right. Yeah. Well, congrats on being done work. You have made it through the day. Way to go. Maybe using some generative fill here. Now, technically, I found out that generative fill is not for commercial use because it's still in beta. I'm still going to use it, I think, at least to show you guys how it all works. May have to do that. Can I have that go away? If you guys ever want to get rid of these spots, all you got to do is come down here to tool overlay and select never, and it'll get rid of it. I don't know how noticeable that is. Probably not too noticeable, right? I think it might be this up here is definitely more noticeable, which kind of stinks, but I just got a ping. Okay, let's see. Selected. God, I love it. Yeah, I do too. I love a good black and white. Huge fan of the black and white. There we go. I think that looks better. That looks better. What you don't see is workers moving so much alcohol throughout this room. I had people walking in front of my lens and all over the place, like trying not to bump into them. This room was bustling. There we go. I think that's pretty good. The top here maybe needs a little bit of love. Oops, I clicked the wrong thing. Yeah, we're going to use a healing brush instead. You know what? Let's re-tag this. This is going to be kind of tricky, I think. The texture on the wall is going to be a hard pattern to match, I think. So we'll see how this goes. Why did it go all the way over there? This is the tool that I need Lightroom to fix. They keep giving us good stuff, but like, I need them to give me like a better. I need them to give me a better tool inside of Lightroom for solving issues like this. So I'm going to grab this here too. This just feels wonky to me. It feels so weird. It just doesn't feel natural to use this. This is what I need. So Lightroom, if you're listening, Adobe, listen up. I need you guys to solve this problem. It is my least favorite feature inside of Lightroom. 100% my least favorite. They want you to use Photoshop. I know. I just don't want to go in there. That looks okay, right? Yeah. That looks okay. There's a little bit of highlighting around here, which feels a little unnatural to me. I don't want to go into Photoshop. I may have to. Oh, we're good. We did it. All right, that looks better. That was worth the work for sure. Worth the work. Do I do it again is the big question. I may just flag this as not a select. These ones were easy, I think. These ones were easy. So let's do this once more. Yeah, I just wish it was a little bit more intuitive. Like, I wish that I could clone stamp in like the same exact way that I do in Photoshop. I wish that I had like the generative fill stuff in a way inside of Lightroom here. You know what I mean? Like, I kind of wish I had both of those tools. And like just figuring out where to place this becomes a little tricky. It's probably okay. Look, whatever I put in here is going to be better than these fire things, you know. But this is the type of work that you gotta do. You have to do it. If you're not doing this sort of work, then you're just like making your portfolio look worse than it actually is. This is part of the service aspect. And if you don't know how to do this, it's okay. You can outsource it to somebody. Retouchup.com is pretty good. You need to go in here though and tweak a little bit of the color. A little green. Bring it up a bit. Yeah, there we go. For bigger stuff, I 100% will go into. No. Hold on. Hold on. Turn healing off. Oh, thank you. Bigger stuff, I'll go in 100% and tweak it inside of Photoshop. You know, absolutely, we'll do that. But for this, no, we're just gonna see if we can stick inside of Lightroom. All right, look at this, another black and white image because the emotion is just way stronger in black and white. Brighten it up a bit. Grandfather with his grandson. Set in day. Statue. Look, this is part of it too. I'm like just trying to set the tone for what this place looks like. Devil is in the details, right? You know, you got to find the. You got to set the. You got to set the scene. You got to set the scene. All right, this looks pretty good as is as well. This whole thing back here is gonna have to. This is gonna have to go. This should be a little bit easier though because it's blurry. See if the AI does it. Well, that's pretty good. Okay, sweet. We'll do it again. I wish they had painted this to be like to match the tree, but I guess if it was camouflaged, it'd be too hard to find. But thankfully, this one's way easier. This looks in black and white as well. Awesome. Yeah, talk to me, guys. What photographers are inspiring you? I didn't see any comments come in. I want to know what photographers are inspiring your work. Who should I follow on Instagram? What other photographers should I check out? Always looking to, follow new people. And I think I was just talking about this the other day too, about how, like, when we first started our business, we're constantly seeing people on Instagram and Facebook and, seeing their business thrive, especially when we were first starting. We're like, man, how do I get work that looks like that? How can I create that? How do I get to that level? How do I get clients that do this or that? And it becomes really exhausting when you're comparing yourself to other photographers. It's just exhausting, and it's soul sucking, and it just stinks. You want certain work and you can't get it, but you see all these people around you who are like crushing it. Man, you just comparison, right? Comparison sucks. But I think there's a good type of comparison that isn't really talked about, and it's like comparison that is motivating, or comparison that is inspiring. And so you could choose to follow photographers on Instagram and compare yourself to them in a way that isn't uplifting to you, or is a little bit like, it is a little bit more soul sucking, right? You're seeing their weddings and you're just comparing yourself to their work and saying, man, I wish I was that good. All right, I'll never be as good as they are. Or, things like that are a bit more negative, inwardly, like negative towards yourself. And I just don't think that's a healthy way to go about. Yeah, it's just not a good way to be. It's not a good way to live in general. The other way to go about it is to look at this work from all these people and start dissecting it and looking at it in a way of like, okay, this inspires me. Why does it inspire me? Is it the lighting? Is it the way they shoot? Is it their mindset? Is it the approach? Is it, how do they create this work? A while back, I unfollowed literally every photographer that I followed on Instagram. Unfollowed every single one. Even my friends, I unfollowed them, which was really awkward, because all of a sudden I'm talking to some of my friends and they're like, did you see what I posted? I'm like, yeah, I saw that. Totally saw that. And I had to, and then I go and refollow them or something, it's really, it got a little awkward, but yeah, like I unfollowed everybody. And then I only started to follow photographers that really were creating work that was different than what I was creating, and creating work that really inspired me, and work that I wanted to shoot more of. Again, there are 10 photographers in that list on in my emails that I'm going to send out to you guys. 52 tips, one a week for an entire year. People like Daniel Kim, people like John Dolan, Sarah Faluga, incredible photographers, doing some incredible work that are really inspiring and are really different. And it's hard to compare to people like that, because it's a different type of photography, right? Like they're at a different like level in a way. It'd be like trying to compare yourself to someone like Jose Villa, who is shooting million dollar weddings. You're like, oh, yeah, well, that's different. Like I can't feel bad comparing myself to Jose Villa, because he is next level. Like, when you're shooting, the Biebs wedding, that's different. That is next level stuff. You're not comparing your work to, Justin Bieber's wedding work, right? Like to Jose Villa's work for Nick Jonas and Priyanka Chopra. Like that's next level stuff. But you are comparing your work to the photographers down the street from you. So yeah, if you're finding you're in that comparison, right? Comparison is the thief of joy. I don't know who said it. I think it was a Roosevelt said it. I highly encourage you. Hey, unfollow some people. Get them out of your social feed. It'll do you good. And the other thing you can do on Instagram, which is awesome, is you can actually favorite people. And so you can choose to just favorite the people whose work really admires you, and you can only ever scroll through your favorites list instead of through all of your friends and all of all the photographers who are nearby or something like that. I don't know. Anyway. Yeah, okay, cool. So Ricky's saying you watch this John Branch, Eric Floberg. I purposely only watch to learn, not to compare. Not a good vibe to compare to someone that has templates used. Totally, 100%. Yeah. Look, this is a thing, right? Like people get into the photo world, especially the wedding world in general, and there's this expectation, right? We all want things to happen faster than they actually do, and I mean, rightfully so. And I have seen people come into the photo industry and crush it from a really early start, and I'm like, how the heck did y'all do that? Because it took us so long to get where we are. And granted, when we started in 2014, there wasn't photo education like what I'm giving you guys and what John Branch, Taylor Jackson, Eric Floberg. This didn't exist back then. You had to buy courses, you had to pay for courses, which I still highly recommend doing, because you're going to get, my mindset might conflict in certain ways to what Eric Floberg or what John Branch or what Taylor Jackson are saying, and they might clash as well in terms of mindset. So learning from somebody in a course, you're going to get kind of a streamlined piece of education. But the fact that you can get online, you can learn all this stuff is incredible. This was not a thing back when we started. Caitlin James was somebody that we learned from early on in our career, and she didn't have a YouTube channel back then. She does now, which is awesome. So yeah, like that's great. That's great. I don't watch a whole lot of photo education on YouTube. I probably should, but what we end up doing is we end up taking courses. We try and take one course a year from a photographer we've never learned from before, and from who's doing work differently than us. Like, it's one of the reasons we purchased the 2-man U. They create work drastically different than what we create, and we wanted to learn a little bit of that, dip our toes into that side of things, learn that process a little bit and see if it was for us. And overall, was not for us, not our cup of tea in terms of seeing the world in that way. But some of the mindset stuff, some of the way they broke stuff down, some of the way they shoot, like, I am way more confident with Flash than I ever was before, thanks to that course. My approach to weddings, way better after taking that course. So like, there's certain things definitely helpful. So that's cool. Same, I've unfollowed many too. Yeah, sometimes you just gotta cut all of it out, cut all the noise out. All right, we're following Victor Lax, Fair Jaristi, I don't know, Daniel Ribeiro, I don't know any of those guys. JB4, Walter and Tuna. Yeah, okay, so a lot of Portugal. I'm gonna check them out. Thank you for sharing. Look, everybody you share here, I'm gonna go take a look at once this stream is done, because again, I love learning, especially international photographers. I think weddings in all places across the world are drastically different, right? The approach is different depending on where you're from, where you grew up, all of that, right? It's going to be a little different. We have a vent up here. This is going to be a problem. Come on, baby. Come on, AI, do it. Oh, yes, that looks pretty good. All right. And again, black and white. Look, a lot of the getting ready stuff I turn black and white, especially in this room, because this light here, like, it just pops way more, I think, in black and white. It looks great. Loved her dress so much. One of the things I'm trying to improve on this year, guys, is bridal portraits. I am not really confident with my bridal portraits. I'm trying to get better at it. And so far, really loving the work I'm creating. Jasper, I've used Aftershoot twice. I've used it on, I've tried to cull, I think, a wedding with it, and I culled an engagement session with it. I didn't love the results for culling. I have not used it for editing. I have not used it for like AI editing. However, I do know photographers who use it, swear by it, love it. So I think this all comes down to personal preference. I think the reason I didn't love it is because I have my workflow kind of like so dialed in. And so now I do cull manually. I've always culled manually. And the photos it gave me when it was like, when it was giving me the results for culling, I was like, why did you pick that photo over this one? So part of like culling for me, I think, is like a really important piece of the photography, pipeline of the photography workflow. As an artist, I think you should be the one, like people who send off their culling to an outsourcer. If you do that, that's fine. I just personally, for me, as the artist who shot the photo, I want to be the one selecting the photo. I want to be in charge of that selection. I think it's an important piece. The artist doesn't know, the outsourcer who you're sending your culling to doesn't know your vision, your style. There are photos that I go through when I cull manually that I'm like, I would have deleted this photo 2 years ago, but today I have a different mindset, different outlook on how this photo can be used to better tell the story, to give off a vibe, essentially, to, like, actually the post I made on Instagram last night, there's a few photos in there that, I don't even know what I did with my phone. Here we go. There's a few photos in here that probably would have not made the cut. This photo, for instance, I don't know how well you can even see that. It's blurry. It's a blurry photo of the uncle of the groom, I think, or of the bride toasting with them. And it's blurry because I brought my camera up in like super fast because I saw him do it. It was literally this quick that he toasted, and I captured it and I loved it. This photo here, there's a lens flare here. I hate lens flares, but I thought that this captured the moment and told the story and gave the vibe. So like stuff like that I would have deleted 2 years ago. But I think today I have a better eye for like what better tells the story. And so I'm always looking for that. And if you're sending it out to an outsourcer or you're sending it to Aftershoot and it is trained to get rid of blurry photos, or it's trained to get rid of, photos like that, then you're going to miss out, I think, on a lot of gold, a lot of gems in your portfolio. So I don't think it's wrong to do necessarily, but just for me, my workflow is just so much more built on me manually culling that's what I end up doing. So Aftershoot actually ended up getting in my way of my creativity and my freedom in terms of culling. Again, I haven't tried their AI editing. I've heard it's really good, but just haven't tried it yet. I've been using Batch.ai pretty consistently and have really enjoyed using it. And especially since I don't have to leave Lightroom to use it, I don't have to have a whole other software on my computer. It's just a plugin. And I think that's one of the best parts about this whole thing is that it's a plugin. I don't have to go anywhere else. I don't have to do anything else. It's just open up Lightroom. It's right there. What up, Kenneth? What's going on? Thanks for being here, man. How you been? Yeah, Aftershoot. At some point I need to like really get in and try all of the AI editing features in, Imagine. I need to get into Aftershoot. I just want to kind of try all of these things. And I'm interested. I don't know if you guys would be interested if I ended up doing a video, and I don't know if this exists anywhere. If I did a video on Batch.ai, Imagine, and Aftershoot, and there's probably another AI software out there that edits for you, comparing all of them, running it through for like an engagement session, or for a wedding, and seeing the results just straight out of like the software. Was that something that you guys would be interested in seeing, to kind of compare, get some feedback on all three or more software? I don't know if that would be helpful for people. It would probably be helpful for me, to be honest, to do that, just to kind of see what the fuss is about. Because I know the majority of photographers out there are all about Imagine. That's kind of the gold standard, it seems. I'm waiting for Lightroom to just kill all of those features and install their own sort of AI edit. Waiting for that to happen. The beta AI editing, it seems, yeah. All right, cool, man. I'll see if I can add that to my list and see if I can make that video happen, because I think that would be helpful for a lot of people. Give a good comparison on how all of this works. Would be pretty cool to do. So yeah, I'll add that to my list. That might be a little time-consuming video to make, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Oh boy, there was this towel up here that was like, I think keeping the flowers kind of moisturized, I guess. I'm not sure, but now it's in the background of these photos, and I didn't notice it until they pointed it out. So we're gonna do that. Yes, I vote for it. Okay, cool. Okay, I'll add that video. I will add that video to my list. Let me write that down, because I will forget to do that. So 100% write that down. Guys, so I want some feedback here. So I just made a video today that I released. I didn't make it today. I released it today. About one mistake that new photographers make. And I want to know, how do you guys deliver your wedding photos? Essentially what this video was about was photographers are delivering their photos through like Dropbox, Google Drive. So if you're doing that, go watch the video I made. But I want to know, how do you guys end up delivering your photos to your clients? What do you guys do? Compare all AI editing software. Bam. Okay, that is in my list, y'all. See if we can make that happen. I don't know if another video exists, but we'll make it happen. Maybe we'll be the first to compare all of it. I swear to God, I just announced this, right? Like, somebody's gonna do it before me. Someone's on the live stream. Branch, I swear, if you're watching this live stream, and I pop into John's all the time, if he's watching this live stream and he's like, that's a good idea, I'm gonna take that. John, let's collab on it instead. That would be more fun. You have your own platform. What does that mean, Mario? I want to know. You deliver via OneDrive link. What does the OneDrive link look like? I'm imagining it looks similar to something like Google Drive or Dropbox, which, if that is the case, definitely, Jasper, go watch the video from today. Definitely go watch it if you haven't already. I am not a huge fan of Google Drive or Dropbox or WeTransfer for delivering photos. Highly recommend using a gallery service. Pretty much what I'm getting at here. The gallery service we use is CloudSpot. Cloudspot.io. It's created by photographers for photographers. They're amazing. The team over there is great. And two, like, everything just looks good. There's a print shop built in. There's a ton of great features. You're able to, professionally present photos to your client. Like, it's the best. Fast uploads. They have JPEG Mini integrated into it, which, if you don't know what that is, it's essentially, it compresses your JPEGs without any quality loss. So your clients end up downloading a smaller file size for the same image, which is a win. 100% a win. Best thing that's coming is that they are going to have, there's going to be a free CRM built into the platform. So if you're using them for your gallery service, you'll be able to send your clients contracts, invoices, questionnaires, manage their project, all within CloudSpot. Guess what? It is going to be free for anybody who uses the service. So I highly recommend jumping in on CloudSpot. I can get you guys a 50% off your first year. And this goes for any. So if you sign up for the free plan on CloudSpot, you'll have access to that CRM. Highly recommend it. I've already beta tested it. It's still in beta right now. They're slowly releasing these features. And Contracts works so well. Invoices works really, really well as well. And yeah, I highly recommend it. Going to be testing out some questionnaires and projects. I think they're releasing to the beta users in the next week or two here, which is great. Excited to use that. Now we use HoneyBook for our CRM. We got in early, so I have a lifetime thing with HoneyBook, which makes my life really easy. But guess what? I'm still going to be using CloudSpot CRM. So let me know. Do you guys have a CRM that you're using? And if you don't, I highly recommend jumping in on CloudSpot to start because it's free. Any plan works. Mario, you're a software developer, built a gallery with all that stuff. Also, that's cool. Look, I love that. That's a great way to really personalize everything because it is custom then to your business, which is cool. And you don't have to pay, I guess, for hosting somewhere. The only thing I'd worry about with that is where are your clients' photos? I don't know anything about tech, y'all, really, about servers or storage or anything like that. Are you ever concerned, because it is your personal server, I guess, right, Mario? What happens if, it goes down or anything like that? Or do you have any risk of, your photos, disappearing or crashing somewhere? I don't know. That's the only thing I'd worry about. I still worry about this. Even though I use CloudSpot, I still back up a lot of my final RAWs, the final JPEGs to something like Dropbox, just for personal storage, for personal use, in case something were to ever happen. I want to make sure all my work is saved somewhere, Backups are good. I also had a request from Gene Cordero, who was on the stream last week. He DM'd me, he was asking about data management, and I wanted to know if you guys had any interest in me covering data management in a YouTube video or something along those lines as well. Not to turn this whole session here into a brainstorm for YouTube, but I want to make sure I'm making videos that you guys are interested in learning, interested in watching, things like that. So should I cover data management? Should I cover what I do the second I get home to the second I deliver? Pretty much what my data looks like? If so, let me know. I want to make sure that, you guys have all this info, that you guys aren't going to lose your photos. Has anybody ever had a hard drive crash on them, or a card crash on them? We had a card crash mid-wedding, I don't know, it must have been 2015. 2014 maybe? It was 2014 because I was still in college. And middle of groomsmen photos pre-ceremony, I had the card in. I shot on a 6D, the first 6D, so it didn't have any dual card slot. Card completely wiped. All I had shot, thankfully, had been details and a little bit of groomsmen and a tiny bit of getting ready. But man, yeah, my card just completely got the error mid shooting, and I just was like, oh, hang on, my card is full, and I swapped it out. They never knew. I ended up going to the bride's parents' house post wedding while they were on their honeymoon to re-photograph their details. Yeah, it was a whole thing. So after that, I always shoot dual card slot because that was a nightmare for me. That was sucked. You have backups in different locations around the world for disaster recovery. You're a software developer. You understand it. I don't know why I worried about you and your files. I'm glad you have that. Yeah, backups, guys. Look, I'd rather have and more for some backups than the stress of dealing with something catastrophic happening to your files. It's always better to back up. You can look into something like Backblaze, which pretty much backs up a hard drive or a computer as you're writing to it, essentially, from what I understand. To give you a brief overview of what we do, first, we shoot on the wedding day, dual card slot cameras, 2 cards in camera all times. Pretty much that is, there's a backup on site. Second, the wedding's done, those cards are coming out of the camera. They're going into the card case, and that's going into my pocket that stays on me until I get home. Once we're home, transferring those cards to a hard drive, and then those cards do not get formatted until the wedding is delivered. Depending on how quick we're able to turn around, the wedding, we turn around weddings fairly quick, within 2 weeks most of the time. And you know, we don't really back up beyond those 2 places, which I know a lot of y'all are like, what are you doing? Those memory cards come with us everywhere we go. If we're still editing that wedding, the second the wedding is done and it's uploaded to CloudSpot, we stop carrying those cards around and they can get formatted again. But yeah, those cards come with us everywhere until the wedding is delivered. And so after that, you know, it's uploaded to CloudSpot. The JPEGs are uploaded to CloudSpot. JPEGs are also uploaded to Dropbox. And then we still have, I never delete any RAWs ever. Like I still have unedited photos like that I have never touched, that just didn't make the cut, right, from like 2015 on some hard drive somewhere in my house. So I just never get rid of RAWs. You don't separate the cards. So the backup cards that are in camera, right? One card shoots RAW, the other one shoots JPEG, and because we shoot pretty close to like this is a RAW file from camera, and with the little JPEG, it would be a little bit contrasty or a little bit brighter, and then we can make the tweaks we need to make to get the photo looking good. But because of mirrorless now, I don't feel like we need to shoot RAW to both card. So the JPEG card actually stays in the camera, and because it's a JPEG card, that JPEG card shoots like, you can shoot like 10,000 photos or something on it because it's a 64 gig card. So that card stays in the camera, and that doesn't get formatted until like the end of like 4 weddings, until it's like empty, until it's pretty much like there's no space left. So that doesn't get formatted either, until like it absolutely has to. But we've never had an issue with this. Again, if I was taking like 4 to 6 weeks to really deliver, there would be another backup going somewhere. But because most of the time I have something online, I have the final work up on CloudSpot, like in a 2-week period of time. I don't feel like I have to like really do a ton of backup, if that makes sense, because I'm editing so quickly. I'm not really going anywhere. If we were traveling a whole lot, there would definitely be more backups, but what we have in place really seems to work for us, and I don't see any like major hiccups, especially again since those cards are coming with me. So we always do kind of have 3 copies. We have the backup card that's in camera, we have something on a hard drive, and we have the formatted, oh goodness, I can't talk, y'all. The RAW cards in my pocket, backup cards in the camera, backups on the hard drive. So 3 places at all times, pretty much, if that makes any sense. In 10 years, I'll be on an episode of Hoarders with how many backups and hard drives I have with all the RAWs. No joke. Yes, absolutely. We just have hard drives everywhere. I could there's a drawer in here that has like 6 like orange lacy drives, and I don't know what's on any of them. They're all labeled like by year at this point. So I pretty much buy 2 rugged 5 terabyte lacy drives every year now, and I'm just labeling it like, this one's labeled 2023, the one that's plugged into my computer, 2023-1. There's another one at home that has nothing on it that says 2023-2, and like that's what's gonna be used this year. And then after that, it's labeled, boom, done. Like 2024 comes around, we'll be doing the same thing. 2024-1, 2024-2. That's what happens. So the simple HDD and a docking station better than investing in external HDDs, hard drives. That's a great question. I don't know. Mario definitely can help you with this better than I could probably, but so we do have like a NAS network attached storage through Synology, which is really nice because it is like our little own or like our own server. I was able to access this thing home the other day. It's up here at my studio. I was able to access it, which was awesome. But when it runs out of space, like I need to swap the hard drives in there. It is a hard drive docking system, essentially. I have recently loved the portable hard drives because I do travel back and forth between my studio and home, and I'm able to just pack up my Mac Mini, head home. I got a monitor at the studio, got a monitor at home, plug it in, bring the hard drive, plug it in, makes it really easy for me. But also, like, you know, depends on, like, when we were only at home, we didn't have a studio. The hard drive docking system, right? The network attached storage made a lot of sense because it was rated, meaning, you know, it was backing up our files to multiple hard drives in that system. And then stuff was also backed up on the card. And then sometimes we'd have it on a portable drive as well. So yeah, like, it all depends on, like, your workflow and, like, what the flow that works for you. Obviously the best thing to get would be some SSDs. Get rid of the spinning discs. God, I love this photo. She gives such a good look. Like, power right here, right? Like, incredible. Like, I should make this one black and white as well. Hang on. Anyway, hard drives. It's a whole thing. It's a whole thing. There's just a ton of solutions that work for a lot of people, a lot of different people. You kind of find your own way, find what works, but definitely have backups. Definitely have backups. Don't format your cards until the wedding's delivered is what I've learned. And if it can go wrong, it will go wrong. That is what we've learned. The reason we take the cards with us every time we leave the house, unless this wedding is done, we take it with us, is because I'm like, I don't want to have to worry about fire or theft or, you know, anything related to that, right? The cards come with me. I don't have to worry about someone breaking in, stealing my stuff. Cards are with me. I'm not losing anybody's files. You know, if there's a fire in my house and we're gone, I don't have to worry about anything other than my hard drives burning, and, like, I have the cards with me. Nothing is going to be lost. That's the fear. That's a big fear for sure of mine, is, like, house is going to catch on fire. All this stuff's going to be burned away. Or being mugged. I would be worried. Like, if I was shooting in Philly, I have been worried at times of, like, walking down the street with the cards in my cards in my back pocket, and, like, some dude trying to mug me and rob me, and, like, I would barter hardcore for, like, the client's photo. Look, take my wallet, just please let me keep these memory cards. There's wedding photos on them. Like, not that I can expect some guy who's mugging me to be nice enough to let me keep them, but I'd at least try, I think. But that's a fear I've had. I don't know if anybody else has had that fear. I don't know if that's irrational or not, but yeah. Anyway, guys, we're almost through. We're about halfway through these blog images. Looking good. I'm, like, really thrilled with this wedding. I would shoot this wedding every day of the week if I could. Wedding every day. Every day of the week. They were great. They were fantastic. In case you want to know Mario's answer to Jasper's question, there you go. It's on the screen there. Thank you for sharing that, Mario. There you go. Yeah, I personally just love running off of the portable drives. Definitely. Because my wife and I work together and we're both accessing files together, having the network attached storage was really helpful for us because I was able to access files on there at the same time she was. So that was super helpful for us. But for most people who are working by themselves, you don't have a team who's in your office with you. You don't have people who are trying to access all these files on the same server. Like, if it's just you and a hard drive, you don't need to have a giant network attached storage. Again, it just depends on the situation, depends on the business, depends on the couple. But I think what Jasper's or sorry, what Mario is saying here is definitely right. I think, definitely don't think that's needed. Oh, I'm gonna have to keep this crooked to keep them in. I should have given them some more bleeding room here, some more bleeding room, some breathing room on the sides. That's my fault. Is that so? I didn't know that, Mario. I had no idea. Really, hard drives are better for long-time storage. I did not know. Can you explain to me why that is the case? I did not know that was a thing. Cool. Well, I feel better knowing that I don't really buy SSDs. There was a whole thing earlier this year, I think, with some of those SanDisk portable SSDs were like crashing on people. I had a buddy who does some commercial work who just like constantly had these drives crashing on him. I had never bought one of those. Thankfully, they were like a Prime Day sale on Amazon, and I almost bought them, and very thankfully, I just did not do it. These lacy rugged drives are good enough for me. Oh, there's a lady in the background. Okay, do you guys want to see some of this generative AI here? We can see if we can use this. I'll show you a bit of this. Have you guys used the generative fill in Photoshop Beta? Have you guys used this yet? Again, it's right now currently not for commercial use, but I'll show you how it works, okay, for this photo. And I may have to just clone stamp her at some point. Wink. Wink. Oh. Also, I'm at the standing desk and I'm loving it, but also like I kind of wish I could sit down, but I'd have to change the entire configuration. Anyway, here we are. We're in Photoshop Beta. Again, this is only in beta right now. So if you want to access this generative fill, you have to use Photoshop Beta. It's a different app that you download in the Creative Cloud. So here's how this works, all right? Here's how this works. You take the lasso tool. You can hit L on your keyboard. And you just want to select whatever you want to remove or whatever you want to change, all right? I give a little bit of breathing room on the sides. I didn't want to go into his head, so we'll probably deselect that in a second. All right, so there we go. We have this. I'm going to hit Q, and there we go. Q and V to paint out his head here a little bit. Back here. And now all you got to do is click Generative Fill, and I can just say remove woman and replace with background. You probably actually don't even need to type anything. It should just do it itself. And here's what it does, y'all. It's straight up magic. And I hope it works, because otherwise I just talked it up and it's going to, you know, not do a good job. But guys, when this releases in full, he's gone. She's gone. I didn't do anything. Unbelievable. Cool thing is too, you can actually click through here and you can see some alternate examples, and like that one's pretty good. And like that's it, y'all. Like I didn't have to do any work. It mind-blowing, mind-blowingly good. Unreal, absolutely unreal. So you can see the difference here, like so insane. So we'll just click save on that sucker. Mind-blowingly good. It's cool. I'm excited about this feature. Very pumped about this feature, and it should just reload right back in Lightroom, and that's it. It's insane. It is really honestly mind-blowing. I can't believe it. So yeah, that is generative fill in Photoshop. It's really crazy. I think that this needs to be used wisely. I only use it for removing things, making some minor tweaks to photos. I do not want to add anything that wasn't there on the day, though. That's not what I want to use it for. I want to make sure the day remains authentic. I know there are people who are using it kind of for like crazy things, and I don't necessarily believe in that sort of AI work. Using it to like remove people from the background, that makes life super easy. Like I cloned out all of that stuff in the beginning during like that dress shot and doing it in, you know, Photoshop using generative fill would have done, it would have taken way less time, to be honest. But, you know, take it into Photoshop would have been faster, but whatever. All right. How are you guys liking these streams? Just, I mean, so we have this one this week. I am not doing one next week. I'll be back doing these for weddings in August. Once August weddings start, because we're off all of July. We do have one wedding next week, but I don't think we have one wedding this coming weekend, but I don't think I'm gonna have time next week to make a stream happen. So I will probably end up doing another live stream maybe at some point in July, or sometime in June. I'm gonna have an engagement session, I'm sure, between now and August. So maybe I'll do another live stream. Then for that engagement session, for that edit, because those typically I edit those pretty quick. Wouldn't be too crazy of a stream, but you get to see that whole process front to back. But yeah, just let me know, what do you think? I don't know what else to add to this stream either. How can I make these streams? Is there a way I can make these streams better? I don't know if I should like come prepared with like talking points. I don't know. Like I'm not a streamer here, just kind of diving into this world a little bit. So what do you guys think? How can I make this better, a better viewing experience for everybody watching? And if you don't have feedback, that's totally okay. You just bought the SanDisk 1 terabyte SSD. Look, you might be okay. You really might be fine. I just know that my buddy had some issues. I know some other people had some issues. It may have already been resolved. I'm not sure. Sorry to freak you out, but I'm sure it's not every single SSD, but just be careful, be ready if that does happen. I don't know. It's a possibility, but that's a possibility for everything. There's a hard drive connected to my computer right now that, yeah, it could just, die. It could just go. It could just crash. Who knows why these things happen? What can you recommend? So I personally, I have had really great luck with these. Hang on, I can go grab one. I've had really good luck with these. You can see this from 2018. These are just the like 5 terabyte lacy rugged drives that you can get on Amazon. You can get them on B&H. Probably get them at Best Buy, even, to be honest. But love these because I love the orange, because you can't miss it. So if you're like in a hotel room or something, you're not gonna forget to pick that up off of the desk that you're working on. And 2 squishy, so there's a little bit of impact resistance, but they work really well for me. The transfer speed's pretty fast. They come in a variety of sizes. Yeah, they just work really well for me. So that's what I would recommend. Samsung T7 Shield's any good? I haven't used any Samsung T7s. I hear good things about. I think I've used a T5 for like when I shoot some video stuff. Me and my friend, same guy who had the SanDisk issue, we both like share a Blackmagic cinema camera that shoots like 4K RAW or 6K RAW, some kind of crazy file. And I think we have the Samsung like T5s or something like that, 500 gigabyte, 512 gigabyte drives or something ridiculous. And those get plugged like direct. Those are our hard drives, like our memory cards essentially. And those work pretty well. I have never had an issue with data on that, but I haven't used the T7s. Mario, again, may be the person. If you may be directing that to Mario for all I know, but it seems like Mario has some data info, more data inside look than I do. Okay, so here's another good example of what we're going to use generative fill for. Here we go. first, so my drone likes to shoot in 4x3. So we're gonna first switch this over to 2x3. And there's a few things we wanna get rid of. One, I wanna get rid of myself over here. I wanna get rid of this tripod. I wanna get rid of these cars. So we'll do that a bit. All right. All right, so first, let's select us. And I'm not even going to do anything. I won't type anything in. We'll just click generate, see what it does. I'm a little nervous about these stairs and it not doing what I need it to do. Did the stream freeze just now? Like, what's going on? My screen anyway looks a little bit frozen. Oh, there we go. Okay. Hang on, let's see. My screen's looking a little crazy. Hang on. Hang on. Let's try this again. Add display, Google Chrome. Sweet. How do I have 3 displays? Weird. Okay. Anyway, that worked perfectly. Now, look, if I want to get rid of these tripods and gimbals here, I can't do it on this layer. You have to go back to your background layer and you have to reselect. Not too big of an issue, but just to give y'all a heads up, you can't do it on the same. You gotta make sure you go back to the generative. You gotta make sure you go back to the regular, the first background, your photo. You guys have been talking for 2 hours, and I'm forgetting how to talk. But I'm very happy you guys have hung around with me. Now, the other thing a lot of people don't know is that, and your desktop is so clean. Yeah, I don't put anything on the desktop. Everything lives in folders inside the documents bin, or if you looked at my downloads folder, yeah, it's not good. Anyway, what people don't tell you about this generative fill is that it is low res. Look at when I zoom in here. I don't know how well you can see this. Do you see this line from like detail to like garbage? There's no detail here, right? There's like no detail. So that becomes an issue. So we want to just like, we're just going to get rid of this and we're going to try this again. And I'm wondering actually if I have the select subject feature on. It's not going to do what I want it to do. All right, so we're going to go back in here and we're just going to do this one at a time. If we select a smaller surface area, I think it'll work a little bit better. So that's what we're going to do. And I probably could clone stamp out the tripod. I'll probably clone stamp these out because it's just not as good. This is not as big of an issue because it's really out of focus back here. But I think I'm just going to clone stamp these out. Or back in, I guess. That's a bug in the SSD firmware. I think it is fixed, but no. But by now, yeah. I know people had issue with it, but I didn't. I think they fixed it from what I was reading and hearing, but that was definitely an issue that people were having. I'm glad it's resolved. Glad it's resolved now. Again, and that's just stuff that happens, y'all. Like, that's just could happen at any moment to any hard drive. Get rid of some of this. That should be good enough. I look wonky. Well, that's a little weird down here, doesn't it? The chair looks weird. Just the chair is weird in general, though. Okay, so let's keep that on. You can see people put down some stuff already. I don't really care too much about that. I just want to get... Oh, there's a random dog back here. Whose dog is this? Whose dog is this? Get rid of that good boy there real quick. Gonna get rid of this pole. I am not the best Photoshop artist in the world either, so don't take what I'm doing here as like the best way to do something. I just want to do things quickly and make sure they still look good. And because this is so far in the background, I don't think I'm really going to have an issue. And anytime I get like weird patterns that look like duplicated, you know, like I'll show you what I mean in a second. Like this and this look way too similar. I'll just go over it again. This and this look way too similar, so we'll just go over it again. Things like that. I'm not trying to make this perfect. There's no way I can make it look perfect, so we're just gonna get, but it looks better, doesn't it? Like it looks way, way better. And then I gotta get down here with some of this. Looks way better. We'll get rid of this too, just for the heck of it, since we're in here. Now these cars are the thing that I want to get rid of, because the cars to me are really distracting. So we're going to duplicate this layer again, and we're going to use our lasso tool to select. I'll do these three first, and then we'll get rid of the Mustang in a second. I'm not even going to type anything. I'm just going to see what it does. This feature is really cool. I'm really excited for this to become like full released at some point when it's not in beta, because it should work much better. And I'm sure once it's out of beta, the resolution should match as well. But that looks pretty darn good. That would have taken me so long to get rid of. I like this one here the best. Same thing. We're gonna come back to this background layer. We're gonna try and we're gonna see what this does here as well, because whatever is in this tree, I don't know what that is. It might be a sign or a bench on the other side. You can see through it. I don't know what this is gonna do. I might have better luck just like clone stamping over it maybe, or not. That works. Okay. Yeah, bam, cool. And one last time, we're gonna come back to this layer. We're gonna select, oh boy, we'll select up to here. We'll include the pole in there as well. I'm gonna say remove car and pole. Insane. Try it out, even if it's just for funsies. Like your mind's gonna be blown at this software, this new AI. It's incredible. It is so good. It is so good. And I'm gonna actually see if we can just remove the pole up to here as well. Anything beyond that, I don't think I'm really gonna notice. We'll see if it does it. So cool. Like the safe. So I really like, should I remove the house in the background? Like how far do you take it? That's the big question. Bam. I see, like, I don't need to do anything other than that. There we go. Like that. We've just cleaned up this photo. How do I get rid of that? There we go. So like, this is where I think we were here. This is where we were. And that's where we got. So like, it's not like it was a little bit of work, but it wasn't like tedious or anything, thankfully, because of the AI. Amazing. It's insane. It's insane, right? Yeah, I think one of the things that I'm not too worried about with AI is like, you know, if I was a brand photographer or if I was a product photographer or something like that, I would be more concerned, because I think it was Levi's that has already replaced real models and real photographers with AI images because of like diversity. I don't know why they couldn't just go and hire like diverse people. Whatever, Levi's. I think it's Levi's. And if it's not Levi's, I'm sorry, I'm throwing you under the bus there. But for wedding photographers, people are not interested. At least I don't think people are interested. Maybe there are a few who are. They're not interested in fabricated moments, right? People hire a wedding photographer to capture the event of the day. And so I'm not too worried that my job's going to is going to be replaced by AI. What I don't want to see is clients learning that this software really exists and asking me to include like stuff that never belonged there in the first place, or stuff that never happened at their wedding in the first place. I don't want that to happen. One, because it's more work for me, and two, because I think it's unnecessary and it's creating a false memory of what your day was like. I want them to be so focused on what the day was actually like. The memories, I don't want to create fake memories for them. But that's one of the reasons I don't think really our job as wedding photographers or as family photographers or as any type of photography that's capturing people in terms of for like memory's sake, I don't think we really have to worry too hard about it. Thankfully, what's going to happen is you're just going to get tools like this that make the job easier and that make it better. Yeah, AI is a whole thing. It's a little scary for a lot of people right now, but I think as wedding photographers, I think we're pretty safe in regards to like what our jobs are. It's just going to shift in regards to how we do it. How do we perform our job? There are times even like as I'm shooting that I'm like, I see like this isn't going to work. I have to remove my wife from the background here. Like this is just going to be a photo that I need to take. And actually this photo too, because I want to remove these tables. So let's take both of these in here. Get rid of them. Like this is stuff I never would have even tried. I never would have tried to remove these tables if this software didn't work. Like if this didn't exist, I never would have tried to remove these tables because it just would have been like, I don't have the skill set. I would have had to outsource it somewhere. And like, I should be able to do this now. Yeah, and that's right, Jasper. Like you can ask it to add things right now, and it doesn't really look good. You know, like it doesn't really. It's not that convincing. It's not giving the. Hang on. Remove table. Bam. Doing what you want it to do, right? Because it's so new. Something like Midjourney, if you've used, look at that, like that's pretty convincing. Oh my gosh. Like seriously, I'm super blown away by it. Like this is stuff I couldn't do before. And now I have the ability to make images that just look so much better by simply selecting something. But if I said like add the bride's dad into this photo next to her, one, it's not going to know who the bride's dad is. I'd have to bring a reference photo in. And two, it's going to have to generate like a full body. And yeah, it's just in beta. Like this job just got so much easier, and it means I can deliver a better product for my clients. That's what's great about this, is that it's going to save me time. I'm able to deliver a better product, and it just makes life easier for everybody. This one had a little bit of, that looks good right there. That looks great. Let's see if I can remove these signs back here. It's a little distracting to me. But yeah, it's absolutely insane. I'm really only using it to remove things. Although 2 weeks ago I did use it to shape the dress of a bride. Like the dress was laying weird on the grass, and so I had it. Seriously, every time this happens, I'm like, just my mind is blown. How much better does that look? That's so wild. So wild. She's gonna be like, where the tables go? There were tables here before. So insane. I used it to fix like a bride's dress. It was laying weird on the grass and we just didn't catch it while we were shooting. And so I used it. I just selected like part of the dress and asked it to like clean up the edge of the dress. And it just gave me a couple options. I think I might've had to run it twice. But it was amazing. Like it did what I wanted it to do, and it cleaned up the dress. And I don't think anybody would ever know unless I pointed it out. We'll see how this one goes. Remove person. It's just in beta. Seriously, it gets me so excited for the future of like editing and stuff like this, to be able to get stuff out of the background. Because often this is the stuff that like separates. This is the 10% like I like to refer to as like the 10%. I can get things 90% of the way there really, really easily, but it's that last 10%, removing the crap in the background that you find distracting, and it does it in a matter of seconds. It is the best thing. It's the best thing ever. Where did that photo go? Here we go. Anything that needs to be photoshopped, I typically tag red, by the way. So I hit 6 on the keyboard, which is why you're seeing it get removed from my green labeled blog images here. So we have a violinist here. He doesn't need to be removed, but we have lady down here. Let's see if this works. And to be honest, I'm hoping they integrate it into Lightroom, into up here, like, because this is like an AI fill, this content aware fill. I'm hoping that this content aware fill gets replaced with generative AI or generative fill from Photoshop. I really hope that that's what happens. Like, I'd love a text-based replacement, because that looks like garbage. Like, that looks so bad. So what I'll end up doing here is, like, you can actually hold Command and select, or you should be able to anyway. Hold Command, select an area, and it should just do it for you. It doesn't do it very well. It doesn't blend very well with what's there already. So it's just like, it's not the best. This is me complaining about Lightroom, because this is, again, my biggest qualm with Lightroom here. I think that looks pretty good, though. I don't know if I'm actually going to have to take it out of there. That looks pretty good. Okay. Happy with that. Happy with that. I'm going to have to remove this light pole, though. But we didn't have issue with that before either. This does pretty well. But yeah, would love to see generative fill come to Lightroom. Yeah, the tool in Lightroom is really, really kind of garbage. They need to work on it for sure. Not my favorite. And the content aware fill, like, sometimes it works really well, sometimes it doesn't. Like, I'm finding that the healing brush is just flat out, it's just better. It just blends better. But when you have something like this is an issue now. Like, do I just take this into, maybe I make this 2 separate, maybe I make this 2 separate masks here. Yeah, Photoshop beta is just crushing it, and it just makes life, it makes life so much easier using that generative fill. It's all over, like, my feed on Instagram, like, people just using it. Like, that looks pretty good. You're never gonna know that there was a light pole there. We'll duplicate this image now. We'll also make it some black and white. Love that. It just looks so classic. I had this vision in my head while we were shooting, and so I told Steph, normally my wife got this photo. Normally she gets, like, the shot down the aisle of, like, the groom's reaction, and I had her do this instead, because I just think it just tells the story a little bit better. And I'm glad I asked her to get this photo, because I love it. I really love it so much. Going a little further there. There we go. Once again, thankfully we cropped the lady out of this one, but we'll get rid of the light pole again. And this is the time-consuming crap that just makes editing really tedious for me. Looks pretty good. I don't know if you're really going to be able to. It, like, smooths things out in a weird way. There we go. That looks pretty good. That looks better. All right. Once again, make it black and white. There's going to be a few black and whites, I think, in this section. I even kind of, like, love the darker look there. Yeah. All right. Going up the stairs again. We're gonna black and white. Love that. Oh my God. Amazing. I'm obsessed. So good. Just crop that lady out. Great capture, Steph. Well done. Looks so good. Can I get rid of this sign over here? Yeah, I do. Okay. Oof. Yeah, cool. All right, there we go. Yeah, love it. Love it, love it, love it. Take this setting. Yeah. Nope. Oh no, I forgot to get rid of the pole. Hang on. This dang light pole. Curtis Arboretum, you gotta get rid of this light pole. I hate it. At least like cloak it in like tree stuff, you know, like hide it in like camouflage it, you know. I can't tell you how many. I'm sure there's tons of photographers who go through galleries from this venue and do the same thing I'm doing. They just every photo just trying to get rid of this light pole in the background. And I honestly, I probably won't do this to every single photo in the actual like final gallery from them. It's only going to be in a handful. This isn't going to work. I'm going to have to take this into... I only end up doing like this amount of like retouching for a select few images. Mainly because one, again, like that's a lot of work. And two, they're not gonna look at every single photo, right? Not every single photo needs to 100% be perfect and have things be removed like that in that sense. Excuse me, goodness gracious. Things don't need to be removed in every single picture. I mean, yeah, you should make things as best as you can if you want to take the time to do it, but we're delivering 1,100 photos. If I went through and removed stuff to make every image perfect, I would never get them a gallery. It would take forever. So I end up just removing the... Every time my mind just goes, it's insane. It's insane. It looks perfect. It looks perfect. I end up having to, fuss with the stuff that I'm trying to fix within Lightroom, and then I come into Photoshop and like, boom, it is done. Like, I don't have to do any work. Unbelievable. It's so cool. Yeah, amazing. Okay, great. That was easy. Why do I even mess with this stuff? Next time I try and clone something out in Lightroom, just tell me to go straight to Photoshop because it's so much faster. So good. All right, let's get rid of this. Oops. You can even use it to extend backdrops. Like that's the only time I would say it's okay to use it to like add stuff that is like not there, would be like background extension. If you wanted to make something a little bit more, I don't know, like turn a vertical into a landscape. That would be the only time I'd ever like say, yeah, it's acceptable to do that. Like if you absolutely needed to. Oh yeah, now because it's a. It sends it back in as a JPEG. And that's the problem I'm having now. So I need to add the red here as well. And I'm going to need to go back and do that same thing. I'm going to have to Photoshop those out essentially after I turn it black and white. Weird. Anyway, how are y'all doing? We're just going to keep going. I'm just going to go till the end here until I get through this, and then let you go. So we'll be hanging out for a little bit longer. Bam. Are you guys editing today as well? Do you guys have any shoots coming up? Any weddings coming up? Any engagements coming up? What are you guys creating? Are you documenting for yourself? I know for me, ever since we had a kid, I started documenting family life a lot more, using a mix of digital and film. I actually got this. You may have seen this on like Instagram or even TikTok. Is this little paper shoot camera? It's like $100, and it's all made out of recyclable materials, from what I understand. And it's like just a little point and shoot sort of thing. Wide angle lens, kind of film simulation. And it's very easy to carry around. So I've been using that, and that's kind of fun to use, like very low key camera. And then shooting a little bit of film with family, shooting some 35mm with family, using my iPhone a good bit more to use that around Christmas time to like capture some family events. Like, yeah, so like I definitely think like if you're not capturing your family, highly recommend starting. Where did this photo go? Is this it here? This is it. Okay. Hey, there we go. If you're not capturing your personal life, how can you expect to capture someone else's like most important day? You know, her eyes are shut. I'm gonna have to, we'll flag that. We'll come back to that one. You know, I think capturing my personal life and my family has made me a better wedding photographer. Hope I didn't freeze. It looks like I froze on my iPad here. Just checking real quick, make sure I didn't freeze. Are we frozen? Are we frozen? Nope, we're not frozen. Okay, great. Awesome. I was concerned for a second. Love this moment. Smile. Look, and this is how we're going to pull out real emotion. Look, there was some sentence or some phrase, some quote from a photographer. I don't remember who it was. It says, when you photograph in color, you photograph someone's clothing. But when you photograph in black and white, photograph their soul. And this is so much more moving to me than the color. And so that's one of the ways. And you saw the other way too, is cropping. Look how much more I cropped in there. This cropped in, rule of thirds, right? Black and white, way more moving than the color version. So don't be afraid to crop. Don't be afraid to turn it black and white. In case you're wondering what lens we're using now, we're both on 70-200s. Both shooting 70-200s. I put on a 70-200 for just a little bit during the ceremony if I can. And then I end up switching back to a 50 for the kiss and the exit. No? And I'm so happy it was outside. I very much prefer to shoot outdoor ceremonies. I'm going to get rid of this dude's hand here. I like this crop, but Hand's a little distracting. There we go. See, it worked great then. Don't need to use any generative fill there. Same deal here. So I'm really truly wondering it, like this woman here, the officiant, one of the officiants is a little distracting in this image. So I'm like, do I go in and do I get rid of her? But also like she was there in the background. So it's just such a weird thing. What's the call? This looks better in black and white as well, in my opinion. So yeah, I may make this black and white, and I actually may go in and see if I can just remove her because I think it would be a better photo. And we'll see how well it does with removing like an entire human. Thankfully, it's just really replacing it with like black. It's not really doing a whole lot. I just hope it doesn't really screw up the veil or the dress. Like, look how sharp that corner is. We'll see. We shall see. Oh. Let's try it again. Let's not give any info. It's just. And while we're doing that, let me see if I can fix my computer here. Well, that didn't work. That didn't work at all. Where is my mouse? There we go. There you go. I gotta hang on, I gotta reset this once again. I don't want to. Yep. Mirror. There we go. There we go. There you go. Okay. Yeah, so this didn't work. It inserted a person apparently. Yeah, so not great. So let's do this again. That's fair too, Mateo. Yeah, you edit for the memory of the, look, if she was making, I don't think the face is really flattering back here, and I think so what my eye ends up doing in this photo, right? I look at I'm conflicted between the bride and her, and this feels distracting. Like Megan knew she was there, but she doesn't. This photo really, I think, would be stronger and more emotive with just them, right? Like that's my feeling. And so while I am like, hey, I don't want to remove something that would add to the moment, I actually don't think that compositionally the woman's placement here makes things one, asymmetric, two, because like, right, we have two people and then we have the judge officiant in the middle, and when she makes this image, it like balances, it doesn't balance left, it leans left, and I want this to be more symmetrical. So I think you're right, you're editing for the memory of the client, and not for myself. And so I think the memory here with her removed, though, I think is better. I'm still going to give this photo to them with her in it as well. To be honest, the color will have her in it, but I think I just think this is going to be a stronger image without her there. Mainly because the face, if she look at like this guy's face here, a little bit more flattering. Eyes are open. He's smiling. She's like kind of mid laughter and her eyes are closed. And it just doesn't, like, I saw her laugh and this wasn't her laugh that day. I love this. This is great. It's like they've added this guy over here, but in like, amazing. So what may happen is that's amazing. I should just deliver that. That's incredible. Incredible. Okay, so here's what we're going to do instead. We're going to get rid of this. We're going to duplicate this layer. We're going to select our bride and groom. Actually, we're just going to select our bride. And we're going to hang on. Gonna select a little bit more here. That way, there we go. I don't need this to be perfect. The veil looks good though. Duplicate. Here, I'm going to grab this. That. Drag it over here. And extend it out. I think with a little blending here, that may do the trick. That's probably a little bit better. Oops. Yeah, okay. So my screen froze again. What in the world? It's like my iPad cannot handle. Anyway, I think that this is a stronger image without her in it. Like, I just think this looks better. Again, I don't want to use AI to like change the memory of my clients or change the things that like to add to it. But I just think this photo is about the emotion, the smile that these two are sharing. It wasn't about this woman back here, right? It was about these two. And I think this does the job. Now, if I remove this guy, it would feel weird because then they're just standing in front of a black hole. Of course, they're up there getting married. There was an officiant there. And yeah, so it is a weird, there's a weird line that you gotta kind of, cross here or at least ride that line. So you're not crossing the line. I don't think I've crossed it. It's just hard. It's a weird thing. The AI is going to be a huge thing going forward. What are the proper uses of it, and what is not? You know, like what's the right use? Hang on, I'm gonna have to. There's something going on, man, with this. Like my disconnect. Just get rid of both of them. Okay. Let's try this again. I wish I had a second monitor. I need to get a second monitor up here so I can control comments and see all that stuff. Is that doing it now? I think that's doing it. Mm-hmm. I totally get that. Totally get that, Mateo. I think everyone's gonna have the kind of their own personal kind of outlook. For me, again, I don't want to add anything or remove anything that like takes away from the image, and that feels false. But again, I think the moment that was happening there for me is like it was about the couple. It wasn't about that person behind the couple. So yeah, I think it can be dangerous in certain ways, and in other ways, I think like it's totally okay to use. Majority of my use for this is going to be like removing distracting background stuff, and that's going to be it. Like to me, she is distracting again in this image. Do you know what I mean? Like she's not looking at them. She's not adding anything to this moment. If anything, she's actually detracting from it. She's not cheering for, if she was in the background cheering for them, 100% not removing her, but she is like passing something off. To me, that's distracting. I probably will remove her. Like I wish she was like present in this moment here, but she's clearly talking with the officiant. They're sorting something out, which is probably, it's fine. That's what they had to do. But it's like a weird, where's the line? Like this will be a cleaner image with her removed from the image. That's the thing. So yeah, so I'll come back to this. I'm gonna tag these as 4, and I'll come back to these and probably remove her. Again, everybody's gonna have their own like personal outlook on like how do I use AI? How do I use this generative fill? What do I do? What are my rules? What's my code? And that's gonna be kind of something that you're gonna have to decide for yourself and figure out. Just depends. But like, what's the difference between like, obviously this man here is in the photo, right? But if I crop him out, am I removing a memory from their photograph? And I would say no, it's just I'm trying to make a better composition. So there's like this line that has to be found. There's this rule that you have to set, this code you have to set for yourself. And it's a new digital landscape, I think, that we're in. It's just going to be interesting. It's going to be going to be hard to sort out in the coming years, because I think we're just going to keep seeing advancements in AI technology and in photo editing and photo manipulation. And the last thing I want to do is technically manipulate a photo, but I also want my clients' photos to be the best they can be. And if there's something distracting in the background that needs to be removed, I would say, hey, depending on what it is, go ahead and remove it. Again, if that woman was smiling and rejoicing and celebrating in that moment of that kiss, I probably would keep her in there. But because she's not even really interacting with the moment that's happening as the centerpiece of that shot, I would say it's probably okay to remove her. So it just depends on what. Anyway, all depends. But it's a crazy good conversation. A conversation I want to have with other photographers, just to kind of hear them out and see what they're thinking. Because again, I think everybody's going to be on a different page, you know? Okay, my bride is looking off camera somewhere, so we're gonna have to do a quick. I also have a specialist back here. They were cleaning up chairs and stuff while we were taking family pictures. I'm like, what are y'all doing? So we're gonna take both of these let's see, I have a third one here actually as well. We're gonna take all of these in and remove these workers from the background. Again, this is something I didn't worry about when we were shooting these. I knew they were doing it. And I was like, I can get rid of them. I know I can. Drinks on ledges, like, I don't know. I probably won't remove those drinks. Maybe I will. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see when we get there. This one doesn't need to go in there. Okay, let's go into... Thanks, Jasper. Yeah, I'm really loving the way these colors are turning out. Really loving how overall this entire wedding it's so pretty. It's so pretty looking. Definitely going to submit this to some publication somewhere. Not sure where yet. We'll see. But definitely going to submit somewhere, I think, because I think that this definitely has potential to be picked up and published in something. We'll find out. Okay, so we got all of this here. So we're gonna have to do an eye swap. I have a video on my channel about eye swaps, but if you want to learn how to do it, you're gonna find out right now. Okay, so here's what we do. We zoom in. Lasso tool, hit L on the keyboard. We want to do a quick selection of the eyes. Hit Command J or Control J, creates a new layer. You can then copy that layer, Command C, and you can actually just paste it, Command V, right onto the photo, and then I bring it right up, and we just do a match. Obviously, it's a quick match, right? So we're probably going to need to drop the opacity a bit. I want to find out, really, I want to line up the eyebrows as best I can. Here we go. That looks pretty good. The nose lines up pretty well. And then we want to just bring the opacity back up. And it looks like the other image is a little bit brighter. So we're just going to hit Command M, increase some of these some of the brightness here, and it looks to be a little bit greener. So we're going to detract some of the green as well. Great. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take our erase tool and we're going to make sure it's feathered all the way up. So 0% hardness. And then we're just going to blend it all together. And there you go. And I like to do what's called the blink test. So like you can see, like back and forth, like this doesn't feel weird to me. So there we go. That's how you do a quick eye swap. Pretty easy. And then I'll merge it with the layer behind it. Really simple. And then we'll go and we'll do our this guy's eyes are closed too, but I don't have another photo with him in it, I think. We'll do our selection here. Hopefully we don't screw up this whole dude's face. Again, we want to give a little bit of breathing room on the sides. There we go. Remove man from background. See how it does. Yeah, the skin tones are like looking so good. So good. Again, that's that film emulation, the Archetype Process profiles. Yeah, masking. You know, I've never really understood masking. I've never understood how it works. That looks really good. They like recreated his ear. That's incredible. And what we could still do in here is like if we wanted to get the dude's ear back to normal, we probably could. Yeah, like masking again. I'm just really bad with masking. I just don't understand it. We'll rasterize it. Oh, maybe we can't get the ear back. That ear may stay where it needs to stay. Whatever. I'm not too worried about it. It's a wide photo. They're not gonna be fussing about the dude's ear. Okay, same thing. We want to just come in here. We're going to do a quick selection. You've seen generative fill used a million times today, but we're going to use it again. Yeah, I just need to understand masking a little bit more. It probably would be easier to just hit the mask button and do what needs to be done. I learned it in high school and I just never retained that information. But hey, whatever works, you know, there's a million ways to do something. There you go. There's one. Let's save that. We can get rid of this now. Same deal. All right, there's two. That drink is still there. Whose drink is this? It's insane though, isn't it? Like I still, every time something disappears after just a quick selection, it completely, again, my mind just keeps getting, like it blows my mind every time. Maybe not so much for little glasses like that, but for people like this, I just can't believe it. Can't believe we've reached this technology. Might be get a little wonky with these plants, but hey, get these people out of here. Viking Moon Warrior, welcome. Glad you're here. I'm from England. I'd love to go to England. Gotta go to England, catch a football game. Be fun. Mind blown. Mind blown. It looks spectacular. Okay, let's see. We got one more. One more. We'll remove this glass. Whoosh. A baby photo shoot and 2 weddings. Editing all night. 2 weddings. You can be tired. Watching from the Philippines. Yeah, if you're watching and you haven't said where you are, to know. It's so crazy to me that like my content, I'm like from the suburbs of Philadelphia and Pennsylvania, and my content has reached people all over the world. I think that's the most insane thing. What a cool time we live in to be able to like all be connected. There's people from England, there's Portugal, there's Philippines, people from all over the place, all connected through photography. Coolest thing. All connected through YouTube, through photography. I wish I could get out and meet every single one of you. I would love it. Editing a pre-debut. What's a pre-debut? Is it like an engagement session, like a pre-wedding? What's a pre? I'm so interested. Describe this to me because I've never heard anything called that. I want to know. All right, that one didn't work. Oh, there we go. That one worked. Okay, great. Awesome. Gonna leave that. Gonna save both of those. Wonderful. All right, and we're gonna actually close out of Photoshop Beta. Oh, still saving. Save. Ah. Anyway, when a girl's about to turn 18. Oh gosh, I didn't know that was like, a shoot. So like here in the States, like you're more likely to have that be like a graduation photo, right? Most people graduate from high school at the age of 18 or so. And so I bet you it's very similar to like what is referred to as like a senior session over here for like high school seniors before they graduate. I bet you like it's that same thing. A pre-debut. Hey, makes sense. But no, I've never heard it referred to as that. I bet you it's pretty similar. I bet you it's pretty similar. I wish some of these people were looking at her, but I kind of like the idea that nobody even was looking at this kiss in a lot of ways. All right, we got our... I'm going to desaturate this a tad bit. There we go. Got our drone photos real quick. I love being able to take this drone up when I can. Doesn't happen very often. And hey, I'm gonna kill face cam for a second because I'm gonna chow into some food if I can, even though I'm pretty sure that my screen has froze yet again. How wonderful. How wonderful. All right, hang on. You're just gonna have some inception action happening here because I need to get a second monitor up here for this exact reason. We're just going to move this back over here. There's that inception I'm talking about. Hang on, we're going to kill that real quick. And we'll go, oh, where is my Lightroom? There we go. Sheesh. Okay. Yowza. Man. Yeah. gonna have to get a second monitor. I think that's the way to do it. Anyway, killing face cam. I want to make sure that I don't like shove my face full of food on camera, because that would be a little bit awkward, in my opinion. I'm gonna just get my YouTube pulled up on my iPad here real quick. That way I can still monitor some comments. Ooh, I can hear myself. I don't love that. All right. Yeah. The AI engine gets information from all the catalog you're editing, probably is what it's going under. Yeah, probably. And yeah, it's just the same without the graduation dress. Yeah. So a lot of the times now, you have like your typical like graduation photo, right? That hits the yearbook, which is, you're in your graduation dress. But then there's a lot of like additional shoots that will happen. Like you'll go out to a park or you'll go in the middle of like whatever city you're in, and you'll do like a formal shoot with like that senior. So like someone like Hope Taylor, who also has a YouTube channel here. She talks a lot about seniors. She is like the go-to senior photographer, at least as far as I know, one of the best. And she crushes it. And same with Reed Gallagher. If you've heard of Reed Gallagher, he's another really great senior photographer. He's based in Texas, but they go out and they do like shoots, with these seniors. It's kind of cool, but they're not in like crazy formal dresses or anything. They're just like they're in like nicer clothes, but nothing crazy. I'm turning up this music here real quick. You can see inside. So this is StreamYard. It's fine. I wish it was a little bit better. Okay, there you go. In Portugal, it's like a prom with 10 to 12 girls that debut. I think that's an older practice on the higher end of society. Yeah. Introduce their daughters to interested men. Yeah, that's definitely not a thing over here, I think. That's funny though. So crazy what different cultures are like around the world, right? The American prom is definitely not that. And this was like a gorgeous cocktail hour time as well. Like the place is just beautiful. Lighting was great. Outdoor. It was great. Loved all of it. Cocktail hours looked like this. Easy to photograph, easy to move through, easy to get candid to people. Yeah, in Brazil, they have similar tradition when the girl turns 15. I know in like I think it's in like Mexican culture. There's like the quinceañera, right? Which is 15 as well. So I wonder if that's like closely related, or if that's all like the same. If it's just like Latin America and like I don't know. I don't know how it all connects. Yeah, very similar. The quinceañera. We see quite a few. Like I'll be out on an engagement shoot or something in the city, and I see quinceañeras, like those types of photo shoots, happening pretty frequently. To be honest, normally like these 15-year-olds in like these giant dresses, like pink or purple dresses. Wild. Pretty cool. What Sony body are you using? Thanks. Can't seem to make tap profiles work. So I'm using the A7 III. A7 III. Again, Jasper, send me a DM or something, and let's see if I can help you with these profiles. I find that it's a little bit about, it's like lighting and like it's definitely about the white balance and color temperature and the tint, and like it comes down to a lot of different things, but I bet you we get it to work for you 100%. Yeah, I think we can make it work. Lighting is a huge thing for any photograph in general, but app works pretty well with brighter areas. At least that's what I have found. Like in general, I don't love shooting in like super shaded areas where like if I was shooting in like a forest sort of thing, like that would be hard. It's just exposure. I think it's just coming down to exposure. I don't know. I'd have to kind of see the image to figure out what can be fixed or what is wrong, to dissect that image. I'm gonna make that black and white. Love that. There's also, if you join the Facebook group, the TAP Facebook group, you can like upload a few images to like a Dropbox folder or something and share it in the group and say, hey, I'm having trouble getting like these images to look something like this. And you can give an example and ask people, hey, can you do a quick edit for me just to see like how these tap profiles look on my work. I'm also not sure, they might on their website, if you go to like the TAP website, there may be a section to like say, hey, edit my photo for me just to kind of see what TAP does to my image. and you'll be able to kind of get an idea of like, oh yeah, this works on my photos. Here's how it would look. Here's how it would look. And you can kind of ask, hey, what steps did you take? What did you do to get it to look that way? So yeah, definitely check out that Facebook group. It's super helpful if you're not in that already. I think I have it linked in the description of this video, because you can get the camera optimizers are in there as well, and I've linked to those. I've linked to those in the description of this video too. But yeah, that tap group is super helpful, because I was struggling too when I first started using it. And what I ended up doing in the beginning was I was doing too much to my image to try and get it to look a certain way. Like I was using like the color grading tab and like using like all this stuff. I was messing with calibration. And at the end of the day, I just realized all I have to do is really change for me anyway, my images, white balance, change that, adjust exposure, and things like that. I didn't have to do too much. I was overdoing it. So maybe try simplifying down a little bit too. That might help. That might help. Yeah, definitely check out that group. I'm gonna get rid of you. Goodbye. We're almost at the end. Almost there. All right. Yeah, you're already in there. Yeah. It's a good group. It's a good group of people in there. People typically respond pretty well to questions in there too. So definitely, I would definitely say post. And if I see you post it, see if you can tag me in the post. If you create a post like a Dropbox folder or something with some photos in it, see if you can tag me in it or something, and see if I can do a quick little edit for you if I get the chance. I don't know how fast I can get that back to you, but definitely happy to do that. I think it's also about like which film profile are you selecting. I know the ones that work best for me are Portra 800, 400, 160, and then Kodak 400. Those are the ones that tend to work the best for me. Portra 800 is like my go-to, I think. Those are my favorite. 800 is my favorite, I think. But yeah, it just depends on how you want to edit, but maybe give a little reference to somebody's photo or something, like the style you're going for or the look you're going for in that post, and I'm sure multiple people will help you out in there as well. Yeah. Overall here, I think Batch.ai did a pretty good job. I didn't have to do too many tweaks. It's taking longer to edit this because obviously I'm chatting with you guys, and yeah, my typical speed. This looks way better in black and white. The reason I give duplicates is because I often have people coming back and asking, hey, can we have this photo in color as well? And just to save me some time, I just give them both, because I hate having to go back like 6 months later into their Lightroom project and find the color version, and you know, it just becomes a whole thing. So I just end up duplicating black and white and color when I edit. Just makes life a little bit easier. Just thinking ahead, you know. But black and white, oftentimes when I turn something black and white, it's going to be the better version of that photo. Except for this one. This one might be better in color. I didn't mention either. This room was so cool. Look how like it's all painted, right? Like, how awesome. Vibe. And again, love this. It's so much more in black and white, but we're going to duplicate it, turn it black and white. Did you deliver a separate folder for black and white? No, I actually just end up delivering like right next to the photo. So like in the gallery, like this color will be right next to this black and white. So when they're scrolling through, they're seeing both. It's not my favorite way. I wish there was a way to like, in a way, like to click on a photo or see a photo and know if there was like a black and white version. Do you know what I mean? Like when I'm scrolling through my gallery, I can see that there's a secondary version of this photo that's a black and white. That way it would keep like the gallery. Looking a little bit cleaner. There's probably a way for the developers to do that, but I'm gonna crop out that exit sign over there. I don't know if I've answered that question already, Jasper. Sorry if I misunderstood, but yeah, so I always duplicate the black and white. But in the gallery though, it's always, they're going to be right next to each other. So there's not like a separate folder or a separate set. It's just like a single, like they'll be next to each other. I don't know. I don't know how else to answer that. I don't know if I'm understanding you incorrectly or not. Sorry, man. But yeah, always duplicating the black and whites, and then always, I don't like that one actually. Always duplicating the black and whites, and then they just upload together, stay in the same, they're in the same folder. I don't make another folder. I do not make another folder for black and whites. It needs to be warmed up a bit. There we go. Are we getting there? Almost there. I can see the end in sight. The end is in sight. And for dancing, I'm using a 50 millimeter still for dancing here. At some point, I do switch over to a 14 to 24. And yeah, when I see that final, like I can see 349 over here is the last image in this favorite section. I'm like, I'm so close. I'm so close. 350 photos about is way too many for favorites. Steph is gonna have a lot to work with when it comes to their blog. But yeah, we're just about there. This is father and son. That's better in black and white too. Was a guest that like she crushed it. Pretty cool. I'm interested to know, I don't love vignettes, but I'm interested to know how a vignette would look. Kind of gives it a vibe. Kind of like it. A little bit weird that I like it, but I like it. Kind of dials in that direct flash sort of vibe a little bit. Keep it. Let's keep it. See it here. It's already vignetting a bit, but pretty good. Using some direct flash. We were starting to break down our stuff already. Leaving. Probably gonna be better in black and white as well. Connor's a little creepy looking here. My guy, a little creepy looking. Sorry, bud. There we go. 350 pictures on the dot. We can then go back through. How do I get rid of this? What did I click? I don't know how to get rid of that. File extension? Crop dimensions? Index? No, none. I don't know where this came from. I don't know how this showed up, but anyway, it's there. So what I like to do at the end here is I just like to go back up to the top and just kind of give a quick scroll, make sure everything matches. Nothing jumps out at me as being like out of place, you know, like something like color wise, nothing is sticking out as like inconsistent. This maybe needs to be warmed up a tad bit, come to think of it. But like that looks pretty good. Keep scrolling through. Yep. We're looking good. We're looking good. All right. Yeah, that looks great. Super pumped for them to see this. Let's get out of the inception mode here. Go back to here. I think my camera died too. Oh my gosh. Y'all, hang on. Oh, hang on. Did I fix this camera? Hold up. Yowza. It is a rough stream today, y'all. Oh, there we go. I'm back. Okay. We did it. Hang on. Okay. That light's just going to be there. That's just how it's going to be. Shit. Nope. I can't do it. I got to get rid of it. It's going to drive me crazy. Okay, there we go. Guys, That's it there. We did it. We did it. Thank you guys for hanging with me. Look, it's pretty enjoyable just chatting away. Otherwise, it's just me sitting here in my thoughts while I'm editing weddings. It's still in the frame. Just give it a little pop. There we go. Anyway, y'all, thanks for hanging with me. It's been 3 hours and 8 minutes of hanging. I had some leftover pizza. It's been a good time. Guys, here's what I would love for you to do. One, leave me a comment in the description. Jeez Louise, man. Leave me a comment down below. Let me know what your biggest takeaway from this video was, from this live stream. Two, if you're not subscribed already, hit that subscribe button. I'm sure most of you are, though. And three, I'm going to be doing more of these throughout the year, hoping to do one a week during the wedding season. I'll probably do an engagement session, one here and there as well. But easy way to connect with you guys. 52 emails ready to go out to you right now. If you're not on that list, you can sign up for that list at the link in the description. 52 emails, wedding photography tips, one every week for an entire year. So jump on that. That's a link in the description. If you're already on my list, you're starting to get those already, I think. But yeah, I got some cool stuff coming. There was a behind the scenes that was recorded for this video for this wedding that I just edited. My brain is fried from all of this right now, but not 100% sure if that's going to YouTube or if that'll go into like a membership or course that I'm currently in the process of both creating / revamping. So anyway, I'll leave a link in the description as well to that waitlist for that course membership thing that's going to be launching sometime this year. Let me see if I can pull that up real quick, and I'll just get that into the page here. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for hanging with me. Any questions about anything, please leave them in the comments. I'll answer them. I'll reply to them. Or you can shoot me a DM on Instagram. I'll connect with you there. And yeah, thanks for hanging, guys. And I'll catch you guys later. Good luck shooting, and have a great rest of your week. Bye.